One of the signature features of GURPS is that combat has a very high resolution. Each round only lasts 1 second. I like this approach, but many people seem to be turned off by the idea that you cannot do much in a single round. If you play D&D, a round there lasts 6 seconds and you get multiple actions, while in GURPS you can only perform a single maneuver. An experienced D&D fighter can swing his sword 5 times in a single round, while in GURPS you can only make 1 attack per turn, or 2 if you are taking the all-out attack double maneuver, or maybe more if you have extra attack. What if you do a rapid strike? And what about dual wielding? How does dual weapon attack fit into this? Oh, and altered time rate gives you more maneuvers, not attacks. How does one even make sense of all this? Multiple attacks per turn is a staple of cinematic combat, but it definitely has place in realistic games as well. So in this video I will try to explain everything about attacking more than once per turn. First of all, let's talk about what maneuvers allow attacks. Obviously, attack is one of them, but there's also move and attack, all-out attack, defensive attack, and committed attack. Feint is not an attack, but it can be interchanged with attacks, so let's list it as well. The first option, to get 2 attacks per turn, is using the all-out attack double maneuver. This maneuver allows you to attack twice. You can attack either with 2 different weapons, 2 different swords, a sword and a shield, 2 punches, a sword swing and a kick, or attack twice with the same weapon, as long as it does not become unready after attacking. Thus, you cannot use all-out attack double with a great axe that becomes unready after each swing, but you can swing the great axe and kick the enemy. If you make an attack with the offhand, then you take the normal offhand penalty, unless you bought it off. GURPS basic set says that both attacks must target the same enemy, but GURPS martial arts expand these rules. I'll come back to this topic later. All-out attack feint is a variant of all-out attack double that replaces the first attack with a feint. You should also keep in mind that a feint never unreadies a weapon, so you can feint with a great axe and attack it with an all-out attack feint. All-out attack double also interacts with slams in a unique way. You can't slam twice, but you can launch another melee attack before you slam. This attack can be against the slam's target or against somebody passed along the way. The next option is the extra attack advantage. Each level of the extra attack advantage gives 1 additional attack per all-out attack, attack, committed attack, defensive attack, or move and attack maneuver. Extra attack benefits only those maneuvers. For instance, someone with extra attack 2 could use the attack maneuver to make 3 attacks instead of 1. All-out attack double adds an extra attack. It does not double your number of attacks. Thus, a character with extra attack 2, making an all-out attack double, attacks 4 times, not 6 times. In other words, the number of attacks equals to 1 plus extra attack level plus 1 if you are using all-out attack double. By default, extra attack requires a ready weapon or body part. You cannot use it to attack with the same weapon twice. GURPS martial arts added a multi-strike enhancement that removes this limitation. You can replace any of the attacks with feints. GURPS Monster Hunter's Power-Ups 1 adds new modifiers that allow replacing the extra attack with a ready. This, combined with other options of making multiple attacks, can enable you to attack with an unwieldy weapon twice. For example, if you have extra attack 1 readying only, and make an all-out attack double with a great axe, you can swing the axe, ready it, and then swing it again. Or you could kick, swing the axe, and ready it. Another option is to make a rapid strike. A rapid strike gives you an extra attack, but just like with all-out attack double, you must use a ready weapon, and it does not have to be the same weapon. Thus, you can punch with both hands, swing a sword twice, swing a great axe and a kick, but not swing the great axe twice. Also, you can use thrown weapons. Both attacks are at -6 to skill, and if you are making an offhand attack, you also take the normal offhand penalty. You can target different opponents, but I will talk about that later. Rapid Strike is not a maneuver, but an attack option. You can combine it with, for example, all-out attack strong, but in this case all your attacks will get the damage bonus. But if you are using extra effort to increase damage with mighty blows, you have to pay 1 FP per attack, not just per rapid strike. You can even do a telegraphic attack with a rapid strike to improve your chances of hitting. You can also replace attacks with feints. However, there are two exceptions. First, you cannot use rapid strike with the move and attack maneuver. Second, if you combine it with all-out attack double, or if you have the extra attack advantage, then you can only replace one and only one of the attacks with a rapid strike. Thus, if you make an all-out attack double with a rapid strike, you make 3 attacks, one with no penalty and 2 at -6. GURPS Martial Arts expands these rules, allowing cinematic fighters to make even more attacks with rapid strike. The penalty becomes -6 per extra attack, -6 for 2 attacks, -12 for 3, -18 for 4, and so on. Rapid strike penalties are halved for characters with trained by a master or weapon master. So a weapon master can make 2 attacks with rapid strike, and both attacks will be at -3 to skill, not -6. GURPS basic set also has an extra effort option on page 358, Flurry of Blows. You can spend 1 FP per attack to halve rapid strike penalties. You cannot combine it with mighty blows. Trained by a master and weapon master do not stack for this purpose, but you can still use Flurry of Blows with one of these advantages to halve the penalties again. Thus, a character with trained by a master can pay 2 FP on Flurry of Blows to make 2 attacks with rapid strike at -1, not -3. GURPS Tactical Shooting expands the rapid strike rules, introducing the ranged rapid strike that requires a ready ranged weapon with rate of fire of 2 or higher. You can attack multiple targets or hit locations, but both must be within a 30-degree angle, and you have to split your rate of fire between the targets. Unlike other rapid strikes, the -6 penalty for a ranged rapid strike can be bought off fully with a quick shot technique even in realistic games. A rapid strike should not be taken literally. It doesn't have to be 2 distinct attacks in succession. It could be a single motion, such as a knee strike to the groin that is followed up by a stamp on the foot, or a sword thrust and twist or draw. But in any case, both attacks require attack rolls, and both attacks are affected by DR separately. Consult the What is a Rapid Strike box on page 127 of GURPS Martial Arts for more detail. GURPS Martial Arts on page 80 introduces a new concept, combinations. This is a special case of a very specific rapid strike that can be improved with a technique. The rules for building a combination are quite complex and do not really matter for this video, so I will leave them for you to read. The next option is dual weapon attack. Just like rapid strike, this is a combat option, not a separate maneuver. If you have 2 ready weapons, be they actual weapons or your hands or feet, you can attack with both weapons at once. These 2 attacks are at -4, but there is a technique that lets cinematic warriors buy off this penalty. Offhand attacks still take the normal offhand penalty unless you bought it off too. You can only target either the same opponent or 2 adjacent opponents if you are making melee attacks. If both attacks are aimed at the same target, then his defense is at -1. You can feint with one hand and attack with the other. Just like with Rapid Strike, if you have multiple attacks from other sources, such as all-out attack double or extra attack, then you can only replace one of them with a dual weapon attack. Dual weapon attack is incompatible with Rapid Strike. You cannot make a Rapid Strike dual weapon attack or make an all-out attack and split one of the attacks into two by using dual weapon attack and split the other one into two by using the Rapid Strike. Of course, there is one obscure exception to this rule: Rapid Strike with thrown weapons. If you have multiple small thrown weapons, such as shurikens, in both hands, you can make two Rapid Strikes as a dual weapon attack. Unlike Rapid Strike, dual weapon attack can be used with move and attack. Also, you cannot spend FP as extra effort to halve these penalties. Trained by a master and weapon master also do not affect these penalties. Dual weapon attacks can be used with ranged weapons, usually pistols or thrown weapons. In cinematic games, it is also possible to use it with a bow, possibly even target two different opponents by shooting two arrows at once. Heroic Archer halves these penalties to -2. GURPS Tactical Shooting also adds that both targets must be within a 30-degree angle. GURPS Low-Tech and GURPS Martial Arts have some double-ended weapons that can be used against two adjacent enemies as a dual weapon attack despite using the same weapon. This was later expanded in GURPS Fantasy Tech 2 Weapons of Fantasy into another option, double-ended attack. It can only be done against two adjacent enemies and only at reach 1, but there's no offhand penalty, only the normal -4 for dual weapon attack. The same book has a cinematic technique that allows buying off this penalty. You might ask, why ever do Rapid Strike if you can do dual weapon attack and buy off the penalties with ambidexterity and the dual weapon attack technique? Chrome explained it on the SJ Games forums. Later, this post was reprinted in How to be a GURPS GM. There are lots of reasons. Rapid Strike is possible even in a realistic campaign. Dual weapon attack, much less buying off the penalty, often isn't. Even if it is possible, dual weapon attack is a different technique for every single weapon skill, while Rapid Strike works for anything you care to wield. And in a cinematic campaign where you can raise dual weapon attack, weapon master and trained by a master have Rapid Strike penalties, making them -3/-3 for everything, and better than the -4/-4 for dual weapon attack for weapons you haven't studied. But most importantly, Rapid Strike lets you use a single, really good weapon twice. Dual weapon attack isn't much use if you can only find or afford one sword of power or lightsaber or weapon with weapon bond, and lets you use a shield while you whack somebody twice with a weapon. Then there's the altered time rate advantage. This one gives you an entire new maneuver. All the restrictions I talked about earlier apply to maneuvers, so you can do it twice. For example, if you have altered time rate 1, you can make an all-out attack double and split one of them into two by using dual weapon attack, and make another all-out attack double and split one of them into two by using Rapid Strike. This will give you 6 attacks total. Extra attack advantage adds an extra attack to each maneuver. Yeah, things can get ridiculous with altered time rate. Now I'd like to talk about some nuances with multiple attacks. First, if you used aim or evaluate, then your bonus applies to all attacks that target the opponent you aimed at or evaluated. If some of the attacks target another opponent, they do not get the bonus. Second, multiple attacks can be used with grapples. You can replace any attack with a grappling move, but usually you must attempt different actions, such as a takedown and pin, or a grapple and a punch, etc. You cannot make repeated attempts at a takedown, pin, or lock. Try to snap the neck, strangle, or injure the opponent with arm lock repeatedly, or try to break free multiple times. but you can try the same move against different body parts or opponents, or make a grapple and an instant follow-up. Or if making an attack that must follow a parry, such as a judo throw, insert attack between the parry and the follow-up. Third, targeting multiple opponents. If you have multiple melee attacks, you can use them to attack or feint multiple opponents. You can alternate between opponents in any order you wish, but each full yard, hex on a battle map, you skip between targets wastes one attack. Thus, it's most efficient to attack adjacent adversaries from right to left or left to right, striking each enemy in succession. Finally, Chambara attacks. GURPS Martial Arts introduces some extra rules for highly cinematic games. You can trade extra attacks from extra attack or all-out attack double, but not dual weapon attack combination or rapid strike, for extra steps on a one-for-one basis. You can insert steps anywhere in the attack sequence. And that's it. Multiple attacks in GURPS is where many confusions and arguments arise. Some people believe that dual weapon attack has no place in the game and should be a special case of rapid strike. Some people believe that double-ended attack makes no sense. Personally, I haven't really encountered any problems with the default rules yet, so I do not want to house rule anything. I'm content with the rules. I hope that this video has been helpful. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.